Hey everybody, hey everybody, hey everybody. Tonya Fairbanks here, and welcome to Live in the Bold, a space for unfiltered conversations about love, loss, and healing. Today, this episode is a little bit different than my others because it is not the traditional interview format. It's literally just my guest, Shawntay Alexander, and I having a conversation. With that being said, it doesn't have my traditional opening, nor does it have my traditional ending. So, I would love for you guys to keep watching and get to know a little bit about Shawntay, learn a little bit about Oklahoma City and the richness that is here.
Congratulations on the AP journey.
Thank you.
Yeah. Are you happy that you did this?
Yes, I really am. Mm-hmm. Like, I think I was at the point where it was crash and burn for teaching, because I would get up and be like, like, oh, I gotta go to work. And even though the kids, like, I liked the kids, I realized, and I think that no shade to Douglas, as Black people, we learn to live in dysfunction. Dysfunction is our norm. So I would be like, oh, I don't want to do this. Oh my God, okay. Now I'll be like, get up and go to work. Like, okay, let's go to work.
Good for you. Yeah.
I do get tired because I'm like, y'all are paying me much less than the others. And I still have admin school, essentially, because we have a project that we have to do. So I'm doing all of the work that an administrator has to do. All of it.
And this is a year that you have to do this.
But then next year, if I get a job as an actual assistant principal, it's like a $20,000 raise.
Okay. So you feel that.
Yeah.
You'll feel that.
Yes. I'm like, yeah, I cannot wait. But also, I tell people all the time, like, don't wish your life away.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait till I'm 16, or I can't. Yeah. Don't wish your life away.
I like that. Don't wish your life away. And you mean elaborate.
Like, we want so much for something to happen in the future that we don't take the time to actually sit in the present and absorb and appreciate the things that are happening right now.
Yeah, I like that. So. Don't wish your life away. I know that's right.
Who did you say is Romel's English teacher?
English? Let me see.
It's not Coach Hill, is it?
Tonya.
Oh, he does have Hill. Okay. So that's who I was just texting. He's the one I said was on for the loss of essentially kind of like a dream, because he wanted to be an NFL player. And he played at Mississippi State, was teammates with Dak Prescott.
He did an interview just now then. Or he already did it then. Okay, I was going to say, because I'm like, that sounds familiar.
Yeah,
okay.
So he just asked me to send it to him.
Okay.
But that was when I was still on Facebook, and we was up there crowded in the little loft on the love seat.
Yeah, that's powerful. A loss of a dream. You know, because we all have something, like we all have a direction that we think we're going to go. And even if it comes out better than your original dream, that's cool and all. But just to go through that, let go, you know, because you have to go through a moment first, you know.
So we was talking about it. I was like, be picked up by 2 NFL teams and dropped by both of them. Like, sheesh. So I have 3 more interviews over the course of.
You want to get that?
Yeah, just gotta cover it. Thank you. I have one tomorrow. On the way back here, she sent me a text. She was like, I'm ready to be on whenever you want me. So I was like, okay, cool, when? She said tomorrow. I'm like, okay.
Listen, it's like you gotta get it, because she done mustered up that courage. She probably took everything to say tomorrow. She was probably ready for an out.
So, but
did you see? And this is why. This is good that you stepped out on faith. Yeah.
I was just thinking, I'm so tired. Like, I came up the stairs a minute ago and was like, I'm overwhelmed. Because, like, I left my stuff and I'm comfortable in there, right? So I was like, okay, what am I going to do? How am I going to get this done? All right, let me do this. And then I was like, wait, I haven't moved the stuff off the cameras to on the computer. Oh, but wait a minute, I don't have enough space on the computer. That's why I had to wait till. So I was doing all of this stuff.
Yeah. What's your favorite plant here?
So you see, you know what a monstera is? It's the one that looks like it's got the rips in it.
Okay. Right.
That one,
Here.
the big one.
Okay.
That's my favorite because that one, when I first got it, was in a little bitty like base thing. It was small. But when I was pregnant, we were going to the hospital, and I'm thinking, oh, we're just going because my blood pressure might be high, but it ain't gonna be high. And I just happened to look over there, and there was a leaf coming up, and it was closed. Well, then I had Tiambi come back home, and the leaf is fully bloomed. So we actually named her Tiambi, that plant Tiambi. We have so many Tiambis because we planted a tree in my mama's backyard.
I like it. I like it.
Like, I was like, she's gonna have a living legacy, even though she's not here. Like, we gonna know.
Tiambi, and that's a beautiful name.
Thank you.
Does it mean something?
Shy in Swahili. So I was like, well, she was too shy to stay. It's okay.
Oh.
I be making up rationale, girl. I'd be like, well, you know, so one of my friends that I interviewed, she had 2 miscarriages. Well, one was a miscarriage, and the doctors didn't believe her. Like, they were like, no, you're fine. Like, there's nothing wrong. The second one, she had a cerclage, and the baby was born, but he only lived, because he was 6 weeks and 6 days, I think, he only lived her 7 minutes. The third time she got pregnant, she had she called it a transcerclage, so they have to go in and like do the cerclage up higher, because they were saying like her cervix just wasn't strong enough to like keep the baby in. And then when she started having complications there, she said she was just like out of it. And one of the questions was like, what are some things that you've done? Like, how ways that you remember your babies? Or like, no, it was when a lot of times when mothers have babies that have passed, they still feel like they have a connection with them. And like, you know, what are some of the things you do or you have done to maintain the connection? And she was like, oh, well, we thought about doing the tree and da-da-da. And she was like, I bought all kind of stuff, girl. I bought the keychain. I bought the da-da-da. And I was like, yep, I don't have a keychain, but they made, OU made molds of her hands and her feet. And then, so we got to still have like the footprints and handprints. So I was like, yep. When we planted the tree on what would have been her first birthday. And my therapist was like, write a letter. And she was like, if you want, you can spread some of her ashes, like, you know, and just sit and talk to the tree and plant.
Yeah.
So
and
that's
the tree is planted where?
In my mom's backyard.
Okay.
So I was like, that house gonna be in the family for
right.
Yeah. So it's like, we'll keep it there. Or if for some odd reason something happened to that house, I'm gonna be jumping the fence every October.
And then today is, I had a patient I saw today. She was having a meltdown. She wasn't one of my patients. It was somebody else. They were like, come see her. And she had she had miscarriages, but the one where at least she was far enough to know, that really rattled her. And today is International Lost Infant.
Well, it's the whole month, but yeah, today is like the day.
And so, you know, and she was telling me about like painting the white pumpkin and this and that and lighting a candle. And I'm like, oh wow, you know, I always think around the holidays when people are like, Happy Mother's Day, you know, and then you know how they have that, you know, some of us post the you know, praying for those and blah, 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 blah.
This mom and this is mom and and this color for the year.
Yeah. It's so crazy how much stuff can be unintentional to trigger, you know?
I had a student, I was like, girl, you better stop talking for her because you out. Like, I literally said that to her. It was last week, and she was like, Miss, Like, I feel like it's karma, but like this girl, she's pregnant and she's we're not friends, and I told her like, I hope you lose your baby, and I was like, I just like stopped, and she kept. I was like, you know what? I really want you to stop talking right now. And she's like, what, miss? I was like, I just really, that was a trigger, and I really want you to stop talking right now because I'm gonna lose my cool, and I could potentially lose my job. So I really just, I need you to stop talking. Right now. And everybody was like. So then later on, I put it aside. I was like, I lost my daughter. So that was triggering for me. She's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was like, yeah, I know you didn't mean it, but you know, people experience things. So we just kind of.
That stuff is heavy to carry while you wishing stuff on somebody. Hopefully that taught her something about having some decorum. Hopefully. And just a little humanness about herself.
That's what happens, I think, all the time when people are, especially teachers, when you're cool, they dump. Kids just dump because I can talk to you. But then you get this load and you're just like, so I be like, man, I'm not a social butterfly. Like, I really come home and just crash. Because, you know, if it's not kids just telling me something just to tell me, it's me finding something out about a kid that they, you know, this kid done shot this kid or this, you know. So it's like, yep, okay. It gets a little crazy. But I'll make it work.
I'm really happy for you that you stepped into this, you know, and just really took it by the ears and said, you know what, I'm going to do this. It's continuing to, you know, work on my healing, and I get to touch someone else's healing experience. So, you know, a lot of people are not willing to try to do more than what's in their own little circumference. So, yeah, that takes a bold person.
Well, thank you. That's when we were talking about that yesterday. I was like, I don't think people think about it like this, but when you are going through stuff and you don't talk about it, especially on a platform like this, I kind of low-key think that's selfish, but because you're keeping your story not knowing that it could help somebody else, or even if you do know, you're like, oh, but I don't want to talk about it. And so it's selfish, but not intentionally selfish, right? Because it's just, sometimes it's just hard for people to talk about, and that's okay.
And sometimes, you know, like we have to be in community, because there's been times when, like today is one of them, like I'm tired of damn old day.
I understand.
But, you know, then I get around, you know, I don't know. It'll be some peer or another, or I get to, you know, meet up with a potential partner, and we're like brainstorming, pew pew pew. Yeah. And or just like another alum, or you know, they telling me like how it impacted them. It's like it gives me a little, you know, boost. And I go, Lord. Yeah. But it'll, you know. And so you do need to be in proximity with other people sometimes for that dream to be a thing. Yep. Yeah, we need one another.
For sure. And I don't think, I mean, shoot. The thing is community. And we've lost that. And I think part of the reason that we've lost community. Did we just go into the show?
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, yeah. I think part of the reason.
Are you recording?
Yeah. So I kept it recording because it'll go off.
Yay.
And then like we'll have to like do the whole stuff all over again. So I was like, nah, we just go ahead and start recording. I was thinking, so like yesterday when I was doing some of my recording, one of my guests, he was like, we've lost the family. He was like, the devil is here, you know, still kill, destroy the family unit.
His personal unit, or like the community?
No, just the community, yeah. And he's like, because we were talking about the loss of his father and how he growing up was scared of his dad and would always want his friends to ask could he spend the night over their house. And his dad would always be like, no. So then finally his dad was like, why don't you ask me? Why are you always sending your friends? And he's like, well, Dad, because, you know, like, I feel like you'll say no. He's like, but I've said no to all your friends, so then that should show you to come, you know, you ask me. And he was like, his dad was always hard on him, but everybody else, and he was hard on the kids in the community. His last name was Ward, but they called him Warden. Oh, here come the Warden, here come the Warden. He was like, looking back on it, everybody was always at my house. All of the community, the kids, everybody came to my house, but I took it for granted. And he's like, now we don't have that. We don't have, you know, the house in the community where everybody comes to, or, you know, or not just a male figure for boys to be able to look up to. And he's like, that's where we've lost a lot, because now you got people that the kids don't even know their grandparents because the parents are mad at their parents. So different things and like familial traditions and even just knowing the history of the family has been lost because there's been that disconnect. And as he was saying, I was like, man, that's community. Like, we've lost that in some families, in some cases. We've lost community because we've lost the family ties. We've allowed that to be severed in some type of way. And so, like, I don't know. That just came full circle in this conversation. Like when you said, like, we need we need community, but community first starts at home.
Very true. You know, I think, you know, for me, it's like when it comes to these schools, the pride is so important. And, you know, all the mantras and the symbolism and the colors and this and that. I think it helps us to, it's a part of shaping who we are. Like, be proud of like where you've come from at the like earliest stages. You know, that's where we learn some of that. And so I think us being able to go back to community and be in community with one another is nostalgic, because it's like giving you, you know, the tones of things you remember. We go off and we get busy. We get so busy.
We do.
We get busy. We get very busy. And so being able to slow down and, you know, just really stand in the space when things were much more simple. You know, they were simpler, and, you know, it was really about the relationships. And then, you know, and that pride, like I said, you know, we're competing against one another. I think I was telling my son the other day, I said there's two things that bring people together. You know, guess which ones, what they are. He gonna say, food, yes, that's definitely one. And then he couldn't guess the other one, so I said sport. You know, even thinking about the Olympics. People from all over the world that we can get united around that one thing, sport. We want to see sport. We want to really, and no other platform I can think of where that exists. Because outside of that, and even in that, honestly, it's political. You know, but that's the closest we can get to the world coming together. I think that's, you know, one of the reasons, like with Riverboat, it was a Trojan horse for sure. You know, get people, for one, outside of, you know, bouncing back from COVID and Black Lives Matter, and we really needed to find a way to boost morale when people had lost so much. You know, community experiencing the losses that nobody could really talk about. You know, we didn't know how far COVID would go, and it was looming over our heads. And even, but outside of the death part, the restrictions, being isolated. And that really, you know, imagine the impact. Well, you don't have to imagine. Because but the isolation, you know, what that did in terms of education, educational outcomes, that learning, you know. Now, coworkers are probably happy to be home, you know. But then to an extent. You know, I never got to go fully I never worked from home.
It was
But
the worst.
it was the worst to you?
I hated it. Like,
why? I think this is about to prove the point.
yeah. So, well, so at the beginning, the very beginning, I was in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And I was cool. Like, I was like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, because spring break happened, and it was like, okay, well, we're not going back to school.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Mm-hmm.
So then that was totally different how we did school down there as opposed to up here. So down there, I was on Zoom, but I would do kind of like a flipped classroom type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would record the lesson, then post it for them to watch, and then we had office hours later on, so I would get on again, and if any students had any questions, that's where we answer the questions. And that was like, okay, cool,
Mm-hmm.
because I could still go and do stuff. Like, I would go to the Katy Trail, which was like right around the corner, go jog. So many people would be out. Like, people would just be out. But also, while going up to the Katy Trail, you would see people in their cars lined up to get COVID tests because they were going to the American Airlines Center. You know, so it'd be like, y'all better keep y'all's windows rolled up, you know, like stuff like that, but still being able to kind of interact with people. Get here, because I moved here, that was in like March to May. I moved here July and started at Star Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were in the building, but not really. So I was just coming back. So first year teachers or new teachers to the back to the district, we had to come in and do like in-person training, kind of, sort of. But we were like spread out around the library. Then when everybody came, we're in the auditorium, we're spread out. Mm-hmm. Like, it had to be like 2 seats in between you and all that stuff. But when school started, we were solely online. So it's me being at school, having all these different classes. Like, I had 6 classes and I had to teach, and I'm like, this is for the birds. The plus was I could still go and like talk to people in the hallway. We would still go eat lunch together. Then they were like, yeah, y'all can even do that. Like, you can't be in the same room together. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The kids come. And I'm like, yes, I get to see these kids finally face to face. We still have to wear masks. That day, I'll never forget. I was standing in the hallway talking to Mr. Francisco. And I was like, Mr. Fran, I can't breathe. It's like, it's hard for me to breathe. I don't know if it's my asthma acting up, but with this mask on and me walking around, like, monitoring, it's so hard to breathe. And he was like, yeah, baby, I know. Like, it's tough. We had our first faculty meeting. We're still at school. And I was like, something wrong with my throat. Long story short, your girl got COVID.
Aww.
And I was so mad because I felt like I knew exactly who I got it from when I got it. And I was hot. I was like, I'm going to beat her up. I'm going to beat her up. Because at the time, I'm crying when I get the diagnosis or whatever, the positive test. I'm crying because my grandmother is immunocompromised and she's like full-blown Alzheimer's, so she can't communicate with us if something's wrong with her. And then my mom is also immunocompromised. I've been around both of them, kissing and hugging, and so I'm like, I could have potentially just put these 2 people who I cherish in jeopardy. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, like I was so hot.
And around that time, was it before we had we had the test, but did we have the shots available?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so it was probably the most scariest time.
Yeah, and here's how I knew that I had it for real. I went to go sniff. I was like, I can't taste juice because I had to stay at school. Like, once you think you had it, you had to stay at home until you got the test back. So my mom, she brought food and stuff to the door like she was DoorDash. And she was like, I'm just going to leave it at the door. And I started crying because I was like, I can't even hug you. She brought me grape juice and cranberry juice with like soups and stuff. Now,
No, you can't taste that.
grape juice is one of my favorite juices.
Yeah.
And I was like, it just tastes like sugar, like sweet purple. Like, I know, you know how we are. Be like, what color Kool-Aid you want? Red? Like, it was just, it tasted purple. So I was like, hold on. So I unplugged my air freshener and did this and couldn't smell anything. And I was like,
Wasn't
I
that
got
scary?
it. Yes.
I remember when I got COVID and I couldn't taste and I couldn't smell. It was scary losing those functions
It
that
really
I've lived my
was.
whole life with.
Yep.
And then even after, I guess, you know, you wait the time and I guess you can't test it. It's, you know, not detectable anymore. But you still have those symptoms. That's scary because then you start wondering, like, am I ever going to be the same? You know?
Yeah. I was thinking, well, first, I cried. I'm a crybaby. Because I'm good. We have Thanksgiving. Okay? And I was like, I'm finna tear this food up. I couldn't taste sweet potatoes.
Oh, man.
I couldn't
Your
taste the
Thanksgiving
dressing.
sucked.
It did. And I cried.
You should have froze
so
the plate at least
hard.
and waited
You
a
know
couple
what,
of-
you right. I didn't think about
Should have
that.
freeze that plate.
I also had the thing, I don't even remember what they call it, but the nose thing where like on like one side you could smell stuff, but the other side things smell so horrible.
I didn't know about that one.
I was like, where are who? And it smelled like straight sewage. And it was just on one side. But the other side, it was like everything was okay. I think they called it like COVID nose or something. And I was like, when I first heard of it, I was like, okay, now come on now, y'all making stuff up.
That
But
thing.
then, right, and I was like, all right, it's real. I had scares, a number of scares, but like, all that to say, I didn't really get to interact with the students as much. Because even when we got shut down and we're like at home, it was still like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
I would get up in the morning, take my shower, go in the living room. Because I was like, I have to separate home from work some kind of way. And it was hard because I was really like, I'm in this apartment.
So I was complaining because I had to go to work every day.
Oh,
Work in kind of like a medical setting. So essential and stuff.
Yeah.
But then I had a girlfriend who lives in Atlanta and she was at home like you were all the time. And she was just going crazy, like what you're kind of describing a little bit.
No, I mean, I was fine. Girl, I was fine because I worked out all the time. Like, I was on Snapchat, like, chronicling, my workouts and like all kinds of stuff. So I was like, there's nothing else to do. Like, there's only so much TV I can watch that's talking about COVID. They're like, you know, like I would go jog. I would go to the fitness center. I would go, you know, do all those things. So,
but yeah, we definitely, you know, had a loss with that on the community aspect. Just,
for sure.
You know, I mean, it didn't even feel safe, you know, being around people. Like, you start to see the people that you know and love as threats. And like, okay, well, where are you at? Or then,
who
you know, some
around?
people, you know, may not have been, you know, all the way convinced about the mask or the shot, and others were. So then there was that conflict. It was so political at that time. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It was very isolating.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always another side to the coin, though, because, you know, some people needed that. You know, I remember going to, since I was outside still, going to Walmart I was like, oh, I have the whole store to myself. I was feeling it.
I never even thought about it like that.
I had the whole store to myself when I was out.
That's when I was like, oh yeah, shipped. Well, actually, it wasn't shipped. What's the Instacart? I used the heck out of Instacart.
Yeah.
I love them.
We're resilient, but I think, you know, the timing of, you know, when we launched our flagship event, you know, the River Ball, it couldn't be more perfect because people needed each other.
Yeah.
And we really reconnected people in the most realist way. You know, before we started putting all these other hats on, moms, dads, and, you know, EDs and manager here or business owner there and graduate and all that. Before all of that stuff started happening, we were these folk and these were our people.
Yeah.
And we were tied to those spaces that, you know, we were in. So to be able to bring people around, also to kind of help to like speak to the losses of those spaces, because they've all changed.
That's very true.
They've all changed.
Yeah.
You know, whether they're still there or not.
Like a little
they've
upgrade.
changed.
Right. Like I was sitting just thinking like, because Northeast is still there, but it's changed.
It's definitely changed. It's been good.
Yeah.
You know, and
Has Southeast changed?
I mean, they weren't predominantly black. I think
That's true.
You know,
They just kinda
but
got-
just thinking about our black
Excuse me.
schools, you know, we've endured a lot, you know,
For sure.
of things just happening to us. Yeah, I think for me the lesson is, you know, how can we be more proactive and be involved, kind of keeping our eyes on,
Yeah.
you know, the thing, and then, you know, enjoy each other's time in the process, you know. So there's some healing components, but then it's also like, okay, a protective factor for us to get back together and just kind of reassemble. We're connecting, making new connections. I didn't know you
Right.
from Eve.
Yeah.
And here we are, just, you know, so year after year,
That's true.
we stay
Yeah.
connected.
That's true.
That's valuable because I'm that much richer because I get to know you.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have from Spencer to Northside,
Right.
you know.
But then what's even more crazy is that your mom and my sister were best friends growing up.
Small world, right?
Right.
We have to make the connections.
Yeah.
And we don't, and that's another thing. We get so into our own world, whatever is going on, that like literally we're passing each other by and
Yeah.
like we could be good to one another.
And good for one
And
another.
good for one another.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way to say it. And so I remember we didn't know that until it was like second River Bowl. I think your sister was sitting in the front, and then, you know, they
Yeah,
kind
when
of
we
was
took
like,
that picture. Because I was like, oh, because it was we were at main event and your mom was there.
What
And
are
she
you
was
talking
like, because it was the end, you know, like
Oh,
all
it
of
was
us,
it was
the
the-
culminating event. And your mom came up and started talking, was like, yeah, Tina's your sister. And I'm sitting here like, who are you, lady? And how do you know? And then she kept talking. I was like, oh, yeah, well, that's my sister. I was like, oh, so Shawntay came. So she a John Marshall baby, like, for real. Okay. That's what
Listen,
that
I love all y'all. We talk stuff, but
Yeah.
you know, I'm gonna love them Bears
Yeah.
or them Vikings or the Trojans. Like I mean, it's just all love.
Yeah.
The Falcons, we all got love for one another. And of course, you know they gotta love a Bobcat because a Bobcat's putting them on.
Gotta. I mean, that's a bit of a stretch, but I mean, we will.
We will.
We will. I tell people all the time, like, it's funny, and I don't know if it's like this for any other schools or for any other classes, but Millwood and John Marshall were super close, the class of 99.
Really?
There were so many of us that either, like, we started school together and then split, or, you know, like, we just met each other. My cousin, who, you know, your cousins are your first best friends outside of your siblings, graduated from Millwood in 99. And so we were always together. Her best friend, they still best friends now. Like, we had slumber parties all together, like all this stuff. One of my best friends growing up, we started in North Highlands together. She went to Millwood, class of 99. So it was just like this big 99, John Marshall, Millwood, I said Douglas, thing. It was a rivalry
Did John
for
Marshall
sure.
and Millwood have like their, you know, version of one of the bowls, you know?
I think now they do. Like, we never had bowls. The only bowl there was growing up was the Soul Bowl. Now everything is a bowl.
I thought
And
John
I'd be
Marshall
like,
had a bowl with Star Spencer. And then
If
I know
they did.
this year there was
right,
something
the
new.
Country Bowl.
The Country
I
Bowl.
was like, if y'all don't get, only one school
I
is
love
in the
it.
country. John Marshall is smack dab in the
It's
city.
not, but I get what they were implying.
I mean, yes.
Yeah, I love it though.
But we can't have, everything can't be a bowl. Then it won't be significant. Like, you've watered down
The bowl.
The significance of the bowl.
Yeah.
There's only one Super Bowl, right? Like, and that's the big culminating. So
I don't know. I like it. I love these traditions happening. You know, and then I mean, imagine if for some reason we didn't have our Soul Bowl. It's been 50 years strong now.
Right.
You know, now it's like it's the thing that's on the calendar.
It's ingrained.
It needs to be respected.
Yeah.
You know.
One of the things that I miss, and I don't remember if it was called a bowl, but Douglas and Booker T. Washington played each other. And I remember it was such a big deal because, well, it was a big deal to me, even though at the time I didn't go to that school. I mean, from middle school on up, my stepdad was the assistant band director at Douglas under Mr. Francisco. And so I would just be like, oh, you going to Tulsa? It was Booker T? Okay. Like, it was just this thing. And that's where, to me, that's where I saw the excellence of, even though I'd already seen it with Douglas and Douglas Band, like that's where I saw the excellence of HBCUs outside of Langston. Because Langston, of course, being our only thing. And then if you watched A Different World and Cosby Show, you saw all those other things. So I remember looking back, I think it was like my junior year at Spelman. And I found one of my yearbooks. And it was, you know, those questions, those random questions that they have, like, what school are you going to go to? And whether the 7th grade, what college are you going to go to? I put Spelman, Howard, and like, I think OSU and somewhere else. And I was like, I was in the 7th grade talking about I'm going to be at Spelman. And look where I'm now. Like, I'm a junior at Spelman College.
Look at you, visionary.
And I was, that's why I was like, listen, I went and showed my mom. I was like, Mama, look, I predicted it. But going back, like thinking that was a tradition that I feel like we still need to have. Like we don't have. I know Douglas and Booker T don't.
Not anymore, but you know what? I'm really curious about that history as well, because I know it existed, but I just don't know where to find. Like, where is that? And then, you know, this past weekend, actually, there was Douglas's. I'm tripping. It was Douglas's homecoming, but Langston homecoming is what I need to think about. It was the next day. So, you know, my son is in the band, and we went down to Langston. And then they had the battle between the different schools.
So I was like,
and it
look
was
at Shawntay being a band mama.
I'm a band mama. A Trojan band mama.
Yep. Did you ever think?
I didn't think. But, you know, listen, the pride for our Douglas Trojans is growing on me. At first, though, I'm going to get back to the story, but at first, at the football game, because I'm sitting on the Trojan side. But when we played Star Spencer,
I saw pictures of you over there. I was like, so it's times like that where I'm torn because I'm like, I have babies on both sides.
Yeah.
So even the Star Spencer John Marshall game, I was like, I don't have any babies that like attend John Marshall anymore, but like I do actually have a student who's on a former student who's on the coaching staff, the football coaching staff, and I'll be like,
but the pride is just so real. Yeah. You know, sitting in that awkwardness, being on that other side, you know, and I told myself, I said, it might take a year, maybe two, to really get to where I feel like, you know, I'll put on a Trojan shirt. Yeah. But at the same time, I was thinking, you know, how well that tradition and that pride was just really just put on me. Yeah. And I know that's everywhere, you know, and everybody deserves to have that sense of connection to something. Like, we're tied, we're rooted here. I think that really contributes to how I just speak in different places. Like, I know who I am. But yes, we're making room. And I think, like you said, Langston being the only HBCU, there's room for all these traditions. I would love, going back to I'll keep touching your knee. Yeah. Going back to Langston, watching, you know, Douglas and Booker T in particular, it was like, it was just, I couldn't describe it. I liked it. It made me want to go back to high school so I could do that
Major. Well, they don't call. Do they call it majorette anymore? I don't know.
I know.
So, and that's another thing. Oh, so I guess traditionalist would be the word. I'm a traditionalist when it comes to traditions. I don't change stuff. Like, it drives me nuts, and somebody's probably gonna be like, "We're gonna burn her." I don't like lady Trojettes.
Okay, see now I don't really want to speak to it. I don't
Well,
know
the only
much.
reason, because Et is a lady already. ETTE is already a lady.
I see what you're saying though. You're
So
just
then you
kind of like saying, first inaugural. Is that what you're kind of tripping about?
Yeah, and like first annual, and I'm
First
like,
annual,
that's not a
yeah.
thing. So I'm like, lady Trojans. Like, when did they become? When did all of them become Trojettes? Because back in the day, the Trojettes were the dancers.
Well, child, if I had a second go around, I would definitely be getting up there,
Shaking.
doing a little something.
I mean, I like to dance, but
Yeah. But I do have a lot of, joy when I see those young people in their spaces now.
Yeah.
And my son, he's building up his
confidence.
His pride.
Yeah,
I
good.
said, do you feel like a Trojan? He's like, yes.
Good.
And because I'm really about my son, I'll be like a
Adjacent.
yeah. I don't know what to call it, but it's gonna get there.
That's good. I like it. In the stuff that I've seen, I feel like he's blossoming. Because of course, like, just being around him with OBAC stuff, and then when you were doing the ACT stuff, I was like, he just doesn't talk. Or he'll be like,
He's real chill. He's real chill.
which is good, because so many kids are high strung now, it seems. But I feel like, of course, outside looking in, he's definitely found his people. And like I said, it's like, I see this like blossoming type.
And you know what? I'll say one more thing, and then we're gonna get off the Trojans. People got Douglas all messed up.
All.
Romeo, he had a cut on his hand. I had to take him to get stitches last week. And the doctors, they were all cool and this and that. What school you go to? Douglas. He was proudly said Douglas. And then we caught that body language, the way he didn't say nothing. And me and myself, we talked about it, because we talked about a lot of stuff like that. I was like, and I told him, I said, you know what? People got Douglas messed up. He was like, He said, even, he referenced back, we were well away from that. He was like, even when that doctor, I told him, I went to Douglas, the way he was silent, I said, that silence was heavy, wasn't it? I said, but that's all right, baby, because they just count on, not much coming out of it, and we get the chance to just prove them wrong,
Right.
But I'm definitely glad about our decision, to take him, because he had other options, of course. But we're really happy and proud of the decision that we made. We stand behind some good leadership.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. And then of course I know my son. We built him up to this young man, and now it's kind of like I'll be having to take off the reins anyway. You got to kind of go.
Yeah.
But I know his leadership abilities, and where he's impressionable and things like that to the most part. Now's his time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yay.
Now's his time, because it is. He's got to find himself, because girl's going to be empty house in a couple of years. I know you don't want to talk about that now because he's just a freshman, but it's going to creep up.
We're not pushing him out, but sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure. This is so funny how we have not talked about the topic at all.
Girl, I mean, we kind of did. We kind of talked about,
we did.
Why it's important around even COVID to come back around. Black Lives Matter. I think it's powerful to think about why it's important for us to be in community, because we get it from so many different angles.
Right.
It's not just going to be within the school district,
right,
or districts. It may not even be within the state. Like the way COVID came at us, and then disproportionately impacted, blah blah. The way we had to go through our educational system, just winging it, and how that could have disproportionately, because we were already at a deficit,
right?
And disproportionately impacted or having disproportionate outcomes, student outcomes, whether it's academic achievement or post-secondary opportunities, whatever the case is. And then you add COVID, right?
Yeah.
And then isolation and all these other things and people's mental health. Then we have Black Lives Matter. You know, I think that's a real good, that's a clear example for me for why we need to be in community. Because even though that happened to Mr. Floyd, none of us knew him, right?
Right.
But we felt him.
Yes.
Like, I remember feeling him. I was bothered. I was hurt.
Yeah.
That happened that really hit home. You know, and for our experiences, you know, if there's an experience across the world that's dealing with another Black person,
Yeah.
for us to be so touched by that, it really just shows the value of community, because there's resilience in community, there's healing in community.
Very true.
We don't have to be, we could be miles and states apart and feel each other.
Yeah.
That is crazy. That is crazy. And so, you know, epigenetics is one of those topics that I was kind of like looking into at some point, and I was like investigating how trauma can, you know, be laced on our DNA and follow us here and about, and you know, we pick up generational trauma and things like that. But you know, it came to a point where I was wanting to consider that other side of the coin. Like, okay, well, if we can carry trauma, how can we carry resilience? And where do we have those conversations?
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's just in the early 2020s, it was just too heavy for me. I couldn't make another blackout post, another, you know, it was too heavy for me. And so I had to, for my own sanity, and just to kind of push the anger down for a second so I could breathe, I said, what can I do about it?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what helped to start the energy that, you know, I'm putting toward the coalition today.
Yeah.
You know, how can we be proactive? What can we do to nurture and foster resilience in our community? Because our community we get hit hard.
All the time.
We get hit hard.
All the time. And there are times that I excuse me, try to steer away from having conversations such as that, because then it brings in, inevitably, race comes in. And because of that, inevitably, more politics come in, because it's already political. Like, it's a political hotbed anyway, I think. And I say a lot of times, if we were to, for lack of a better term, make a hierarchy of the importance of people on the face of the earth, you would go, and not the importance of how we see them, but the importance of like how society is. So of course there's man then woman, right? And then there's white then black, and everything in between. So to be a woman, you already make less, you're looked at it differently, blah, blah, all that. But then to be a black woman, it's even more tough. So having a space to learn to be resilient, or even, because sometimes I feel like with the other side of the coin, like, how do you teach to be resilient? But I almost feel like for black women in particular, that resilience is there as well, but it manifests as something else. It manifests as us being angry. And that's not how we are with it. Like, that's just how we talk. That's how, but we're perceived as, she's the angry black woman, or, you know, ooh, she's aggressive, or, you know, and it's like, well, that's our resilience from having to, from being dumped on by even people that are supposed to love and protect us. And not necessarily, I know a lot of times they're like, well, black men, but I'm not talking about just black men. I'm saying, like, we could have white.
The Constitution.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Like there's, I mean, like it's just so many things like institutionalized, you know, so that peace is a part of us as well. So we have the trauma, definitely. But I think with regards to the resilience piece, if we were able to learn how to express that in a different way, but then that's respectability politics, right? Because then it's like, well, make yourself palatable for this other person to be able to.
Yeah.
So you're making yourself smaller, and you should be able to take up all the space.
Yeah.
So it's always, this is my favorite word I use all the time now. I say it's my favorite because I use it all the time. It's dichotomous. Because you have like the both sides. Like, yes, it's good in this way, but in this way, it's not. Yes, this is.
Yes, and but this too.
All that, yeah. So it's a conundrum.
It's really tricky. You're right. Like the respectability part of that. Like, you know, it wasn't acceptable just to be mad.
Right.
You know, even though that's probably, you know, what's most approved. Like it's okay because that'll get you shit that gone real quick, right? And, you know, just not expecting anything, you know, better. Like,
Yeah.
But, you know, it's something different when you try to channel that energy into a way that can not just help, you know, yourself get through the thing, but like help work through this with other people. But yeah, I think you're right. You know, people, it's easy to be misunderstood when, you know, those things, you're hurt. And when you're thinking about anger, all it is hurt at the end of the day.
It is.
And like you said, the way it manifests, you know, because we want to protect ourselves. Like in all these terms, these threats are here.
Right.
Like, we're going to take your name, we're going to take your place, we're going to take your everything, we're going to take your culture, we're going to take your everything. Right? Your name and all. And then it's like, okay, naturally you want to show up. You need to show up strong.
Yeah.
You know, what's like impenetrable?
Impenetrable?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Right.
Yeah. You know, just to protect yourself.
Yeah.
And then damn if you do, because strong black woman, strong, you know, or angry, this and that. And I try not to, you know, I don't blame people on how they respond at all. Like if it is anger, then that's just, because for me, I realize there's all different types of resistance.
Yeah.
And I have to respect them all. There's some forms I'm not going to do. You know, but that doesn't take from their impact.
Yeah.
You know, for example, some people are gonna not be the marchers.
Right.
Right? They're not gonna be the marchers. And instead they'll want to light the world on fire because, you know, because that's just what it is. And then, you know, we have to respect it all, though, because it was the lighting the world on fire in 1964. Who was it? That got the policy, the legislation for the civil rights laws that we have today after the assassination of MLK. You know, we don't get to know that history unless you know, you have to seek that history. But, and that's a powerful thing, too, just to know your history, because you can understand. Like, it doesn't have to be, we don't have to respond quietly, you know, in order to get a point across. But, you know, I'm going to it, I'm going somewhere else. Okay, so.
Because I was about to be like, yep. And then
we're going to really.
I was going to hop in there with you.
We're going to really back in. You can also respond in a way that's super positive, like we do with OBAC. And, you know, it feels good because we lead the way with positivity. You know, hey, this is a mission. It's a very positive mission. Don't you want to be a part of it?
Yeah.
You know, like, now it looks bad on, or it looks away if you decide not to be a part of something so
yeah.
so good,
because it's great.
so
It
important.
is. It really is.
Youth and still learning, and why wouldn't you want to elevate? It could be exposing. That's at the end of the day.
Right. Know who your people are.
Yeah. So
I think OBAC is a great thing.
thank you.
Just
You're part of that.
I mean, yeah, by a tiny bit.
Yeah.
I just row. You guys do a whole lot more than just rowing. Like the planning, I'm sure their planning piece
It's heavy.
yeah.
You have to have a long runway to develop the funds,
Right.
do the fundraising and stuff like that. I mean, we're in that, like, literally as soon as we're done, it's
start
like literally I'll crash and I don't want to see or do nothing for maybe a couple of weeks, and then it's just like back on it. I gotta, it's back to it, and that could get exhausting. When we talk about, like, just on a personal level, the loss of your time and family and
almost your identity, I think.
Identity, the thing I'm fighting for.
See, for real.
But yeah, that's a crazy. What did you say? Dichotomy. Building identity and then also losing that in my hair, girl. And so, I mean, just trying to, I'm constantly trying to learn a new balance and a new groove. I'm definitely replenished for sure by a long shot, by just the outcomes. I mean, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's just so good on many levels. But, for sure, if I'm human, I could say, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. And this is the only thing like this in this nation.
Yeah.
You think the world, but I can say for sure that this nation.
I don't think you would be wrong if you said the world.
And it's unique, and we're proud of that. We're proud of that. We're not gonna let that go. Because where else can you find a cluster of black schools that be cooperating? We real family out here.
Yeah, for real.
We a real family out here.
Yeah. I don't think, what's funny is, yes, contrary to a lot of people's belief, Oklahoma City is big, like landmass wise. So we don't see each other all the time, right? So the practices is like, okay, I know I'm gonna see such and such, I'm gonna see, but then seeing them out somewhere else, if you happen to see them, it's like, hey girl, it's like, that's my friend. I may not even know their name. We're like, that's my friend. That's like my old back homie. And it's a mini reunion almost, if you will. Like, it's hugs and dap, all that. Like,
and then
I see you, I know you.
The kids get to see all that too. So now we're shifting narrative.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of you don't know how many people are afraid of ourselves, girl.
Yeah.
But don't be afraid. Be proud.
Yeah.
Be bold. Step into these lanes. Like, here, we passing the baton. Like, this is for you. You can do it. One thing that I really like about what we do out there, anyway, is that because it just doesn't seem like it's a place for us with all the architecture and the water. It definitely wasn't like it's not like where we're comfortable being, and I won't even say comfortable. I'll also add to that, allowed to be, right? And so I'm really encouraged by the momentum that we've been able to build in this. And it's like, no, we have to keep it going, because it's also really important for those young minds not to see themselves in these spaces. They can see the backdrop of downtown. That's your downtown. That's your backyard. These spaces are your playgrounds. They can be. And I think we just have to build into that, that sense of empowerment. Like, hey, this belongs to you. Being on the water belongs to you.
Yeah.
You remember the first time you got out there on the water? How did you feel? But besides scary shit, after you learn how to set the boat, okay, that far.
Because I'm about to be like, look. And it's funny because I think I wasn't really scared because of my background with water, right? Used to be a lifeguard and swim, all that.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I was like,
this.
you know, I'm okay. But I was like, I always think, how deep is it? Because it's so weird, and I can't believe I'm saying this because it is kind of a weird fear. I'm kind of tall, right? I'm afraid to dive in water because I always feel like I'm gonna hit my head. Even it could be 12 feet of water, and I know it's 12 feet, and I know I'm not gonna. If there's no type of trajectory that's gonna, you know, no speed, no force that's gonna make me go all the way down to the bottom of a 12-foot pool and hit my head. But I'm so afraid of that. So I was like, how deep is this? Because if we flip, I'm going to hit my head. But then after that, my fear, I thought more so about the other people on the boat. Okay, who can swim and who can't? Who am I going to have to help?
That's funny. Early on, I would identify those people too. Now, which of y'all can, especially if I had to sit in a boat, I'm like, I want to be in close proximity
to the person
like, who can swim on this boat.
Let me find out.
Okay. I can't swim.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just been, what a rodeo.
It has.
Like, what a rodeo.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, on those first 2 years specifically, being on the water felt free. Like, it was beautiful. It could be calm.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking, I can't believe this. I can't believe this happening. I can't believe this. I can't believe this happening. Feeling like a kid.
Yes, that. One of the things that sticks with me every year, and I think it sticks with me because in life, you know you're supposed to be this way, but you don't see it very often. A group of people in unison, like we are moving as one unit.
Trying
and moving right, because but
yeah.
making forward motion.
Yes.
Even though we're not facing forward, we're making forward motion. So we're making progress, and it makes me think about. Because I always say, like, you can't go forward looking back, right? A lot of people say that. But I think in this sense, we're looking back.
We are. Ooh.
Honoring.
Ooh, this is getting deep.
The people that came before us. Like, you think about where just the community that was overtaken for that space to be where it is. Like, it's like, okay, I see you. As I'm making these strides to bring awareness to what happened.
Yeah. That and, you know, uplifting our current, like, our school community.
Yeah.
You know, looking back, you know, to where we come from. You know, and we're getting to the new place together.
Right.
Ooh.
All together.
We're getting to the
as
new
separate,
place together.
Right. As separate entities, but we're all working together.
And when we look over to the next boat, we hope they make it too.
Yep.
Yeah.
For real. And that's what's been, like, when Squeaky said that, I'm like, you know what? She's
so
right. Because we're always like, I mean, listen, I don't talk trash. That's not my thing. But I know on the John Marshall squad, that day we talking some trash.
Yeah.
Well, and I be like, I be cringing like, oh God. But, you know, hey, it works. But we be hyping people up. You know, like, oh yeah, like, what the actual competition. How'd y'all do? All right, I was there. I was rooting for you. You know, we're always so happy that you crossed the finish line.
Yeah.
You know, because there are a lot of us that I could say for sure, community-wise, that have lost so many friends and family members. They didn't get to cross the finish line. So just being able to see somebody else do it, knowing all of the hard work that they put in for
It's a lot of hard work too,
all of those weeks. and then to be able to see it through. You saw it through to the finish, regardless of if you won or if you lost. You saw it through. I see that. I see you. And I recognize the work that you did.
That's so special. That's so special.
Yeah.
You know, and people will tell me their own individual whys sometimes, which is an honor. You know, I've heard a few things.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going through a divorce or health issues. You know, just keeping their school alive, literally.
Yeah.
I mean, just, you know, being a model for their kids, something just for me, so a self-care thing. It's just, I love how everyone has their own motivation. And it's like healthy for us to learn to prioritize ourselves, prioritize our health.
Yeah.
This is the thing about it. It's not just about, it's so holistic, it's crazy. Like, it just keeps building new legs and arms.
Yeah.
Because when we started this, it wasn't about anything else but us coming together. We wanted a space to have our reunion and all, you know, the symbolism and the rowing thing. We can dig it, right? But then it was like, oh, and then you the first and only, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's like, oh, and then now we preserving the history of what was here, because we're gonna do that too.
Right.
And I think, you know, we are a model for, you know, the city, you know, other people, you know, to look back like, how do we do right by people? How do we include people? Not just city venues and all those things. U.S. Rowing was asking on one meeting, you know, like, how do you guys, you know, like, how the house, and all I can tell them, and it's the truth, it's the relationships.
Yeah.
It's nothing else. It's not rowing was it rowing on its own?
Right. No.
Was it gonna do that? Now the buy-in is the relationship.
Yeah.
That's the connection is what the hook is. And then along the way we get to live a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, we get to explore life in areas that have been traditionally cut off from us. And whether you're on that boat or you're just a spectator, my hope is that you get the message. Yeah. You know, you get that message. And then you can channel that energy in whatever direction you want to take your life. Yeah.
Would you ever, first off, I'm asking this question knowing that it would be a lot of work. Knowing that you already have a lot on your plate. But would you ever branch out with regards to OBAC, like how Black Lives Matter did, and have like different chapters in different cities and states? Do you think that would be feasible? Not feasible, possible.
Girl, it don't matter what I think. You know, I think
it's gonna happen.
I think
Excuse me.
I think God is good, and you know, whatever is for me, cool. I don't know how long or how far I'm supposed to carry this torch before it goes to whomever else, but you know, certainly I've thought about like what could that look like on a very personal level, like just Shawntay being a consultant and helping because to know U.S. Rowing is asking me questions. I'm like, I might need to start paying some fee, paying a consultant fee.
Right.
I might need to be a speaker somewhere in there, you know. And then, you know, of course I need to survive, so trying to figure out ways to earn some money to support me. You know, I think those can be viable options. It's just a matter of getting to it, girl. Yeah, because you know you still gotta pay the bills that you got right now. So I don't know. I think God will take care of me, and
oh, for sure.
I'll just have to, you know, just stay focused, because it can get discouraging, it can get exhausting, it can get all the things, because I'm just fleshly sometimes. But you know, I'm encouraged by even you asking that question, like start.
Right, because I can see it. Like I think, so when I lived in Dallas, I was a part of a run club, and at the time, I didn't know that there were so many different just Black run clubs around the nation. And so I was like, oh, okay. And even more recently, like there's a black run club here. So I'm like, cool, all right. And thinking about, now I can't think of the river, but in Dallas, like smack dab in the middle, like it runs Plano, Dallas, all those different places. Rowing, like it could be done.
It can be. Now, I want Oklahoma to headquarter whatever the thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I was just thinking like, you know, with even not even even Tulsa. You know, like start close because Tulsa again got a big river that goes smack down through the middle of it. That's not man-made like the one that we have here. But you know, I just think the positivity of OBAC and everything that's happened here and is continuing to happen, and bringing the community together, I think that could be replicated in such a way that it's like how we said, it's a big, it's a family reunion.
Yeah, the way we do it, you know, for sure, you know, there's others around the world who can definitely glean from how we roll these things out. But there are other black rowers out there, you know, chartering new territory where they are and things like that. And I'm encouraged just to see, you know, the pockets. I'm learning more about the rowing community that existed, because you know we're kind of like the new kids on the block, even though we have such a huge impact, you know, because in other places, you know, they're kind of rowing, you know, they're piecing together to maybe make a team or something to race it. You know, it just looks different. You know, so it's good to see us on different levels, and I would love for the opportunity for, you know, us to all come together. Yeah, we have to all come together. I'm encouraged.
I think that would be so cool.
Yeah, we got some people out there doing some great things that are really, their mission is rowing, like, and that's like, you know, but like I said, like, their mission was rowing first, you know, but no, we add value for sure to this space. That's crazy.
I'm glad that God placed that on your heart. Like that made, for you to, number one, this is so funny to me, for you to not know how to swim. And then for you to put this together with, I don't know, that's
I don't even know why that wasn't even like a big deal for me. I was like, we're gonna go rowing. You know. But it was a big deal / excuse for many of the ones coming along. You know, some of us are like you, like, oh, I need to just do the new thing, right? Then some of us are like, well, let's wait and see. You know, people, you know, so we have different stages, and I keep that in mind. But definitely, I got a lot of people when I'm, you know, the initial recruiting, you know, when the concept wasn't like you couldn't see the proof of concept. Their easy no was, oh, I can't swim. I'm like, I can't either.
Yeah, right.
Like, damn.
Yeah, right.
I could tell.
Took away my excuse.
Yeah, I could tell. I could tell you really don't want to be out here on this water, but thank you.
Right.
You know.
Thank you for facing a fear. I think that's another thing that made this so significant, and I don't know if poignant is the word, but there were a lot of people that did face their fear of water, and you could see how they were excited about the fact that they, you know, completed this thing that's on water. Because water is scary. Even as somebody who loves the water and loves to be in the water, water is scary. And I think once you have a healthy respect for it, then it's like, I can be safe on this water because I know what to do. And I just like the fact that people were stepping out and doing something different and enjoying it.
Yeah. Yes.
That's why I asked the question about like different chapters of, even though we O-back, but it would be like whatever T-back, D-back, you know. I think that would just, that would spark something that could lead to a movement. And I know that wasn't your intent, is to, you know, like for community, but that's what I'm saying, like the movement of community, like us getting back to.
That is just so crazy. When I tell you, we started off trying to just get this that first event done, just get, and it was hot, and then from there on, it just like turned into something else that it's almost starting to, you know, kind of do a little bit of that, you know, almost still gotta.
But I think even with like all of these people, I feel like this year in particular, with the Real Room being there, with what's his name is from Tulsa? Is it Trey?
Big Trey.
Yeah. Okay, him being there, and granted he was there the year before, but like even seeing on Instagram like the number of people that commented and, you know, liked it, having just people who have never come before, and it growing. Like I had one of my friends, she was like, I'm just coming here to support you, but she brought her whole family, you know.
That's support.
And so right, like and so I think even stepping even further out into culture, right? Because she is, she adopted her cousins, and they're Native and Black. And so it's like for them, oh wow, like we see all these Black people, right? But then, oh wow, we also see Okana right here in the backdrop. And, you know, we know that that's our people as well.
Fam across the way too,
So like we're here, like this is for us as well. And then being able to just feel, you know, like the culture, even though like they're living with a Black family right there, but it's still like.
And let me tell you how powerful we are as a community, girl. River Sport, it was the second year they told us this, but they said this was the best regatta we've ever been to. Now they go to all the places, they go to all the regattas get big, they get big, but the way we swag out and thicken up our regatta experience, no comparison.
Right.
Like really reinventing what that even means.
For real.
What that could look, the fact that, you know, and I've been to a couple of local ones here. One day I hope to go to like some out of town ones to really just try to grow my knowledge around this stuff. But yeah, just to, you know like, man, like we can make impact just being authentic, being us, being together. Being together
in a positive space, because I think that's, for me, that's made a lot of impact. Just young people seeing all of these adults, all these Black and brown faces with some white sprinkled in between, and there's no conflict. There's no, you know, it's all love all the time. And with society being the way it is right now, any little bit of positivity to me is a win. And for so much of that to be in one space at one time. In Oklahoma. I just think that's amazing. I think that's something that, regardless of whoever you may pass the torch on to, we have to fight to keep that alive.
Long down the road.
I know, but I'm saying, but still, like, it's kind of like how
you don't
I think
lose that part of it. Like that's a part of this experience. The fact that we're connected, like we really cultivate. So we can't just. It's like we just have to be careful. Like there's like the more we grow, there's some things that kind of you have to figure out like what's getting compromised, what's getting added to it, what's And so, for sure, where we've been these last few years has been special. It's been very connected to who we are. But, I mean, I keep saying, we're going to be like Essence Festival, but in Oklahoma City.
Listen.
When people go to Essence Festival, they go together. So, I mean, they don't know each other. So, I know that there's, possibilities and stuff like that. But it's just, It's a constant learning.
Yeah.
It's a constant learning.
Yeah.
And also, you said something about Native and Black, and we talked about resilience and healing too. And I think a part of the history that society doesn't often acknowledge is how Black is Native.
You're right. Yeah.
Because we're indigenous. Along the way, the definition, both visually and just on the paper, on the books, have probably redefined what Native looks like and is. But just standing into the possibility, if this is true, we don't. A lot of us don't swim in boat now, but that may not have always been the thing. Like we were hunters, gatherers, and all that stuff, and probably had a little bit more close relationship with the water. How we could be, again, tapping onto that DNA strand, like we're gonna not necessarily live out you and I the long-term impact that this could be happening, just connecting us on a healing front. So I just want to say that. Yeah.
I mean, you're right though, because we are Native,
we're rich. We're indigenous.
For sure. When did you first notice the erosion or erasure of historic Black neighborhoods, schools, or traditions in your community, and how did that affect you personally?
So, with that beautiful question, I think it was just over time, because in order for it to make sense, I had to collect bits and pieces here and there as I grew up. So, for example, my mom is a bear like you. I was younger when they were kind of walking through memorializing the building right before they tore it down. But she took all of us with her, and I remember there was so many people out there. Just watching that, I could tell this place was special.
Yeah,
it is special. Like there was an energy there. And then just kind of listening to my mom as she was like the tour guide. She was pointing, this is where Claire Lupa taught us. This is and these are the names that she gave. These are Oklahoma prominent names too. At least I know them. And so just thinking like, man, how can something so historical be, or being so historically influenced, be torn down like this? And at the end of that tour, she took a couple of things with her. She took a locker, some blocks, blocks, and a chalkboard.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure she still has that stuff.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure she still has that stuff. But just that energy, being in that space, that was an example for that I was able to carry with me. Fast forward, I'm attending Star Spencer High School. Being in that space, the threat, the looming word on the street, even back then, was they gonna take our school.
Yep.
And as an adult, I would go on to eventually confirm that at least at one point, by the high up leader now, that at least at one point, I think they did, but at least at one point, that was the plan, to literally take out that feeder. And then fast forward, and we closed a couple of schools out that way. And there's an idea that maybe we close 2 more and just build 1 new in place of the 2, and just things like that. I'm like, I sure would support that idea, wouldn't it? Like, is that idea really lost?
Right.
Of course, what sparked the beginning of OBAG, some of that energy around Northeast.
Right, yeah.
Being taken for what it is now, which is
so crazy.
Yeah, it's not Northeast. And just how that was, how the community perceived that happening to them, that specific community perceived that happening to them, and then just being an observer of how that process rolled out.
Yeah.
So here we are, our first, I believe that was the first school to integrate. I can't remember the history, I'm a little foggy right now.
Okay.
But you know, in 72, there was some stuff going on.
Okay.
The Dow, yeah. So I'm ashamed because I know this is your child.
I'm ashamed.
I think I'm thirsty. That's all.
So hold on, like you need some more water.
But you know, being historical, being rich in culture and community, and being ripped like a band-aid like that, seeing that, and you know, having some Northeast friends, you know, describing the hurt behind that,
Right.
like the disbelief, the shock. You like with any other grief situation, you go through all the, you know, stages, right? The denial. There was a fight, you know, all the way up until there was no fight left to have, right? They took that up, you know, and I commend those individuals, the Alumni Association, for doing what they could given the time and resources they had to do things.
Right.
So let me see, I mentioned Northeast, Star Spencer, John Marshall. Millwood was always family, you know. You know, I've heard people say Millwood has changed over years and things like that. But you know, that they're family, they're in there. And then Douglas. I'm trying to think of then there was Douglas. And I think the current thing with them is the threat of gentrification all around them.
For sure.
All around.
It's
like this
everywhere.
is a bed for gentrification right now.
All because of all you.
And what does that look like? What does that look like for them and their longevity and blah, 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 and, you know, that legacy? And so, and then, of course, I actually got to say Dungee. Right. Even though that has been long closed after following integration, you know, the structure just standing out there, if that's what you want to call it, just kind of being abandoned the way that it is out there today, just on display. I think I told you before, like for me, when I see Dungee, it feels like, you know, like a public lynching or something. Like it's just out there for display. You remember how the postcards used to be made, and it just seems, you know, it just seems. So I'm more in that, you know, just visually looking at how that went or is. And so with all of our school communities that I will learn along the way, like interfacing these challenges with, you know, identity based off of whatever the current politic is or whatever. So it kind of really helped me to believe in this mission from, you know, the beginning, even though I didn't want to lead the organization because I was, you know, being shy and trying to be, you know, in my way. But once I got to it, you know, there was that. But for sure, like being able to see a pattern across all these communities and seeing how everybody's being impacted by something similar just looks different. Kind of like when we was talking about George Floyd earlier, like how he could be states away. We don't know him, but we felt him. Right. That hurt us. And so, you know, for me, I'm a patterns girl, I'm a systems girl. I like to zoom out and see, you know, like break things down like that. And, you know, growing up, it was just the game of observation for me. And once I started seeing things happening repeatedly, it lets me know that, hey, we have to get a little bit more intentional about how we save our communities. How do we hold on to our communities and celebrate them as well? So even at River Bowl, we, you know, for that reunion weekend, we celebrate individuals, and we try to, you know, not pick people who are always the picks, you know, not to take from those individuals, because you know, if you do the work you deserve, right? You deserve over and over again. But just recognizing that, you know, there's so many who deserve celebration. They've done it. They've done the thing in their way for so long, many of them, right? And we get the honor and privilege of saying their names in front of everybody, when we gather. And we try, to just pay homage along the way, with that and the Walnut Grove thing. And then, of course, like keep, when we're bringing it to the news, we're saying,
right.
John Marshall Douglas, Sir Spencer Miller, know, we're saying Northeast, we're just saying these names. And so it's kind of like reinventing, remember, like, say her name.
Yeah, so right? I was just thinking, right?
Say her name.
Yeah.
This is what that looks like at this level. Very grassroots. And it's powerful. It's powerful because we do the best we can, without all the resources in the world, Yeah. Yeah, that's the question. Yeah.
In leadership roles, there's often pressure to give so much of yourself. What personal sacrifices, like hobbies or rest or time with loved ones, have you felt slipping away?
Rest for sure. Rest for sure. There's been so many long, early mornings.
I can imagine.
The days, they go from 24 hours to like 30 or something. I don't know, but man, it could get, the insomnia could get crazy. And then I have to also go to work still. I work 40 hours a week to pay the bills, and then I'm a single mom, and I have family, that I want to, and neighbors, and grandparents, and just people that I also want to invest in. That I've, prior to OBAC, that's just what I did. Like I would go across the street and check on the folk, and call up the grandmother, and go watch the movie with mama, or binge watch this and that. And so, having less time for those things do start to take a toll on you. And then you can hear your family talking about, she's always so busy. I could tell they dealing with, my mama, you moving around too much. And I know that's just her way of saying, I miss you.
Yes.
Sit down somewhere.
My mom would be like, I ain't seen you. I'm like, Mama, we just had dinner on Sunday.
Yeah.
You know how long ago Sunday was? Mama, it's Tuesday. Yeah, it was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you're right. Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am.
I mean, but then that could be frustrating though too, because it's like, okay, everyone understand. For me, the elders really, they be like, okay, come back, don't let it be too long. And I get it, because it's like, I'm on their time, not the other way around.
Right.
And so I give grace to that. I understand that. But at the same time, I'll be like, but all the things.
Yes.
I'm so tired. And then I gotta cut the grass now. Or, I gotta, my house, I need to, clean. It's time to clean the bathroom. It's time to, just do regular stuff. And so, and then of course I've watched over the years, like my body go through things. So this year it was hair loss, which just scared the shit out of me. I'm sorry.
Girl,
that scared me. 'Cause I'm like, and trying to figure all that out, learning about myself there. Last year it was weight gain, and now I'm learning more about cortisol and what that does to the body. I'm like, oh, that was cortisol kicking my butt. I was puffy. If you could look at last year's River Bowl pictures, I was on swole. And it's just so much I'm learning about myself and like the physical health part of it. And so for that reason, it was already a thought, but now it's a little bit more. I'm like, okay, we really have to hone in on health and wellness.
Yeah. I'll do my outro now because, hey, this conversation is going to just be great for you. So keep in mind, as always, God made everything, right? God made the birds, the bees, the trees, the moon, everything. But when he made you in his image, okay? So because of that, you are his greatest thing ever. So please don't ever forget that, regardless of what you may go through, how you may be feeling about yourself, how you may be feeling about things that are going on in your life, you are God's greatest thing. He loves you. So never forget that. Okay? You are God's greatest. I love you, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.